Well, I think we're back. Don't say I'm not true to my word, although technically I guess I'm streaming twice in one day as I started after midnight. Merry Christmas, everybody, once again. Hopefully this will be a little more reliable than the last few times. Uh, Moved the viewing dashboard. Oh, what's it doing now? Should be a... Damn it, go away. Get... Oh, that's right. Go somewhere else. There it goes. Thank you. Anyway, yeah, I moved my streaming thing over to Chrome, which is a lot more reliable. So hopefully it won't cause my Firefox alternative to use up all my CPU thing and kill the stream. Anyway, the winner of the What Am I Going to Be Editing Today is a Thanksgiving 2005 trip to Lansdale via the R5. This was in response to the SEPTA resignaling project, which wrapped up after a decade, but really dumped the hard on a lot of interesting Reading signaling. In this case, I took Broad Street line up to Fern Rock and then went on the R5 up to Lansdale, took some Lansdale photos, came back. No biggie. But it's as close as what I did to a Reading survey as I was able to. Here I am. I've found where the photos are so I can easily rename them. And let's see what else we got going on here. Should also have the SMS photos. I should have the SEPTA ones in here somewhere, just so I don't have to spend too much time trying to find what I renamed things 5 years ago, 13 years ago. They should be right in here, but not seeing them. Ugh. Oh, I guess we'll have to cross that bridge when we come to it, although I'm going to need some additional help here. Here's 2005. Oh, I'm just waiting for people to join. Anyway, let me pull up a few things here because I just need one more old directory. And then I can get rolling here. Let me just pull up, I need my good old infrastructure folder. I'll pull that up. What am I doing? What's going on here? Almost there. There we are. Okay, great. And I'm done. Looks like I've got all that go. All right. Anyway, we're going to start with fun on the Broad Street line. You can still do this today. The one part above ground is where it emerges at Fern Rock to loop around the yard. Most trains loop, but I think it's sometimes in the peak period they will come in on their own. But this is always a crowd pleaser. Now, as originally constructed, the yard was just a yard, and the last stop was Olney. There we have 501, by the way. The Broad Street uses a mix of single unit and bi-level rolling stock. Anyway, it used to just up until the I think the 80s, just go to Olney. But when they wanted to shut down the Reading Viaduct for a complete rebuild, aka the Railworks program, they needed to have an alternative. So trains would run to Fern Rock, drop people off, and they built a station there. So that led to people being able to go around the little thingy, the loop track there. Got a little hard drive warm up. I hope everybody had a great Christmas. I had a pretty good Christmas. Still full from dinner at my aunt's house. Come on. There it goes. Had a hard drive spin up. Here I have another angle of the same 501. I'm not sure if it's still in use, but at the time, the Broad Street line used an Identra system. It had towers at Fern Rock, Olney, and Schneider, and every other point used automatic interlockings with Identra, which was using the coil. So the operator would select the route they were on, and approaching the signal. It would analyze what the train, it would say, what are you, and then it would automatically set the route. They might have gotten rid of that with their new CTC system. It's not quite, with train labeling and everything, you don't really necessarily need it. But at least as of around this time was just when they would have been phasing it out. Is when things got resignaled. Like I said, the Broad Street line is a mix of married pairs and single units. I believe that the 500 series are single units and the 600s are married pairs. This course with trains in the 600 series, this does lead to the so-called 666 Devil car. There's also a ghost train. The ghost cars, I think they're all now ghost. You can see here the original scheme had the large orange stripe, and the new scheme has a much reduced orange stripe. Another fun fact about these cars, besides the fact that they are authorized to go 70 miles an hour in the tunnel, the design speed is only 100 kph. It's built by Kawasaki, and that's usually what they can get, 62 miles per hour. They also use GSI 70 trucks, just a much shorter version of them. GSI 70s are known for being pretty much the standard North American rail passenger car truck up until recently, at least for single-level stock. Amtrak Viewliners, the new Viewliners use it. Silverliner 5s use GSI 70s. The designs would have been, whatever. But interesting thing here on the Fern Rock backlot, we can see just some of the equipment that they have there. Fern Rock is a site of extensive rail rodeos, where they usually sometime in the fall, where SEPTA will have they're very gracious about this too. They offer to the fan community to come in and do the same sort of it's sort of an employee day, but they usually know that they might as well use it as their public relations day too. So I'm well versed with the Fern Rock shops in the years where I've been on at least 3 open houses there. Here's SEPTA's quote-unquote historic fleet of Broad Street line cars. Note, not Market Frankfurt, because they can't fit on the gauge. These are owned by the city. SEPTA tried to scrap them at one point, but a employee / rail fan, I actually know, he intervened to prevent them from being scrapped. Much to SEPTA's chagrin, because they aren't owned by the city owns the subway, the city owns the rolling stock, the city owns the historic stock. SEPTA simply operates it. The city never sold its stuff to SEPTA. At least the old equipment was never sold to SEPTA. So they can't. They can't scrap what they don't own. And didn't open all the folders that I needed to right here. Anywho, so yeah, there's the historic fleet. And that's on the They've moved it. They moved it at some point. It's on a different track now. That's where it's much more accessible. So what would this be? This would be the south angle. Now it's a little bit more photogenic, but it's right up against the fence, so you can't really get any decent angles. Also, it has continued to deteriorate. Just because the city owns it and SEPTA can't scrap it doesn't mean they have to care. And they don't. They pretty much don't. So somewhere in here is the where these would be, but it probably doesn't really matter. Ugh, God, this is just a terrible photo. I'm not even sure if I'm going to keep this one. Ugh, there's nothing in that. Done. Dumped it. I bet I can figure out what switch position that is. Or not. I unfortunately have some of my SEPTA stuff in different locations, and not exactly where I know things to be. Well, let's just quickly see if I just get down to the F's. E, F. It's not there. Anyway, so in this also you can see, this has grown up a bit, but you can see the old, there's the SEPTA's freight connection. So I can get deliveries of cars and other stuff. I do have the number of that switch somewhere, but I have to just deal with it. This is where the track, I'm not sure if there was 2 loops. I think they added the second loop for the Fern Rock Transportation Center project. I'll look up the name afterwards. Doesn't really matter. I forgot my naming convention, and it's going to be too much of a pain to find it now. So here we have the old signals at Tabor Junction. This is before the 560. So the whole point of this was because they were in the process of the 562, the Rule 562 project, and I wanted to try to get some pictures of the signals before they went away. And this would be SEPTA's Tabor Junction. Tabor Junction. Reading had a lot of interlockings with junction names. Tabor Junction was where basically freight traffic coming from Bethlehem steel area or the coal country down the Bethlehem branch specifically would branch off to go to Reading Yard. I can actually go and hopefully if I have it here, I should have it here. Oh, but I don't. I think I closed that. I didn't close it. Oh man. Oh, maybe I can just open it real quick. I should have a, yes, here we go. Nope. Damn. I should have there's an interlocking diagram of the SEPTA Reading, the what was then the Conrail Reading Division. Conrail Reading Division being the former Conrail Reading, the former Reading territory on Conrail. And there you go. Interlocking charts in 1976. And SEPTA pretty much used the same interlocking up until their 562 project. So this is generally considered to be whatever. So Tabor Junction, there it is. Boom, Tabor Junction. It's the this is all slightly different, but So you can see here in the original configuration, this is again before Fern Rock Station was built on the as a transfer in the 1980s for Railworks. So eastbound, the Bethlehem branch, trains would branch off and then head to Port Reading via this thing. And Port Reading was their major export coal facility. So here we are looking at it. We can have, there's a 2R, a 4R, and an 8R signal. So here we have the 4R and the 2R right there. And SEPTA would have remained, as long as the Wind and Wayne Tower was still operational, these would have had the same thing. So that would be 2R and 4R. So I don't know what I called this back in the day. Infrastructure, there you go. No, that's not the one. Yeah, I wasn't calling it by anything because I didn't have that information. $4R plus 2R. Today's configuration, I don't know what I'd call them. Maybe I'd call them 4R and 2R just to keep it, because I don't have anything else. But in this situation, it is completely correct to use the original Reading interlocking chart designations. The Reading signaling was still in service, more or less. I believe Tabor Junction was resignaled around the Railworks project time, but nothing was substantially. I'm just gonna call this. This would be the 8R. And you can see what I was up against with the new signals being already in place. Let's see what we got going on here. Uh-oh. Shoot. Gotta kill this. There it goes. I don't want to be doing it in two locations. Oh, I got someone talking about my midwinter trip. Oh yeah, tomorrow calendar-wise, it is after midnight now, but on 27th, I am running a SEPTA trip. Anyone's welcome to show up. Come to Market East Station, 9 a.m. It's going to be mainly transit-heavy trip. Market Frankford line, 59th Street, Route 59 trackless trolley, Route 15, Route 10. But we're ending with a special express run to Newark for a sunset on the NEC. Highly recommend that little ride there. Very limited stop service. Get you out, get you back by 6. Bada bing, bada boom, done. So, definitely come and enjoy that. So here we have the Tabor Junction proper. Hold on, what am I doing here? I need the this guy. I was wondering why it was still running slow. I had left it it opened in both windows. Derp. Okay, that's a 7 switch. Although I could always don't necessarily need to call it by that name. What's the other name of the other switch there? The 5 switch. So everything else looks a little tilted, but it's not. All right, moving on. Here we have just see my newer camera. I could zoom in and find out the number of that, but just no use on this. Oh man, yeah. Here we have a nice view of Tabor Junction on the overhead walkway from above. It was pneumatic. It was on the same pneumatic system as the Fern Rock Int for the subway. But like I said, it was by the time I got there, it had already been converted to electrics. Unfortunately. Here we have a nice view of a clear signal indication on the 4R there. So a little too late to catch everything, but at least I got something. It's our first batch. Let's see what's going on. Oopsies. There we go. All right, moving on. Let's see what our next bit of thing is. So this is going to be a 2-day event. Not sure how far I'm going to get to, but it's going to be a scant 2 days. Probably just going to do 3 sets a day, keep things nice and short for the holiday, and go from there. And I will be back next week streaming over the New Year's on the 1st and the 2nd. Actually, maybe just the 1st. I think I'm not going to be here on the 2nd to stream. So I'll just be streaming on the 1st. So here we have the same machine, just with a silver liner, an R5. What does that say? Something, not enough resolution. Oh boy, yeah, isn't it? Isn't that the kicker? 3 megapixels. You don't get a lot to work with. And here we got another one. This one is Silverliner 4, number 178. Even when the Silverliner 2s and 3s were in service, it was still pretty hard to find them. They would often show up when you weren't looking. It was sort of like some sort of, I don't know what the thing is, but they only show up if you weren't looking for them. And there's actually a time where, so for the longest time, you'd rarely see. They'd only appear during rush hours. So unless you're burning time on a work day, you really wouldn't tend to see them. But as the retirement approached, you started seeing them a lot more. Like they were basically trying to get them to fail. Then the new cars delayed, and oh man, then it got fun. All right, here we are on the move. I gotta find where we are on the infrastructure thing here. Should be right in here somewhere. Here you go. Oh, that's not helpful. I just called it a random cut. Okay. let's try to figure out where this is. 5.3. What is that? Milepost 5.3? 53? Oh, God. Oh, man, I don't have my, I don't have my old SEPTA thingy with me. I gotta go find it. Alright, let's go take a journey, try to find my old thing here. I can usually find it pretty quick. Here it is. 2009. Here we go. Railroad division timetable. Blah, 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 blah. Won't give me everything I need, but it should give me enough. Chestnut Hill East, Doylestown, main line. Ah, no! This is the error right where I needed it. Wait, or does it? No, I got it. Alright, great. This is... Yeah, I'm not sure why the mileposts are all weirded out on the signals. But... Looks like 66th Street. So that overhead bridge is at milepost 7.8. And I can track that to here. That's it. So it's the milepost 7.8 cut. I'm in the process of obtaining the History of the Reading Railroad books, volumes 1 and 2, at least starting with volume 1. I'm going to purchase it. It's one of my delayed Christmas scripts, and the price has actually gone down a bit, so that's a good idea. But that would give me a better reference. Those are great books, by the way. Milepost 7.75. Don't know why this is. These signals seem to be out of whack. Possibly because they're numbered from Port Richmond. That's often the way these things went. This probably was signal numbered from Port Richmond, even though SEPTA numbered the main line at some point. So, I mean, remiled it to Reading Market East. Here we go, Reading, Maine. Clear. Sorry for being not quite as prepared today. So here we have the, I think it says Melrose Park. Let's check the thing. And this is the Melrose Park Station. So hopefully I can... You can see there is evidence of multiple tracks in this location, even though a lot of the cuts are only 2-track. And this was also this station had also just been recently subjected to high-level platforming. There's a little bit better, clearer signal, picture of signal 55. There weren't a lot of blocks in this area, and I'm pretty sure that the new signaling project did increase capacity here. Although they did transitize it by speed controlling through the interlocking instead of just giving you a clear signal to a straight route. Currently, trains just crawl through there. It's maybe they've changed it. I gotta ride it. You know, with the access civil speed enforcement, you never quite know what's going on. I have. See, this is labeled. I labeled a 6.5, but you look at that, and I could swear that looks like a 5. It's a 6. Makes sense as a 6. Here we have Jenkin. You can see the new signals obscuring the other one. Here's an odd thing. So there's Jenkin Tower. Now it's still there. It's used by CNS forces. That's been closed for since the 60s. The interesting thing, as you can see, is the Doylestown branch is the diverging route. You would think, oh, you know, SEPTA R5, that's the premier line. Well, no, the premier line was the train to New York, was the line to New York City. And even though it's almost a Y junction, that was considered to be the primary route. Now, here you can also see the new signal right there. That's for the dwarf. It's the new mast, old mast for limited, medium, clear, and then there's the old whatchamacallit signal, the dwarf for the wrong direction moves. Things got pretty dicey, I think, in the old system where they had to go do wrong railing. Huh. I'm going to definitely rename this stuff. So here I go to my Reading area interlocking thing, zoom out a little bit so I can see it, and then scooge up to Jenkin. And there's a 38L, and wait, am I looking at the right one? No, 24L and 2L. Okay. Yep, there's our 2L dwarf, and here we have the old, the flat switching plant, very British style sort of flat junction here. Now the two switches are the 17 and the 3, and the movable point frog is 19. I'm just doing 3 sets today for anyone who's paying attention. Yeah, nice view of the split. Jenkin was turned into a more conventional interlocking with a ladder at this move instead of getting rid of the 19 movable point frog, unfortunately. So Reading did not mind movable point frogs. They just got one of them at Titus interlocking was just recently removed south of Reading. First signal coming out, this would be the distant between, this would be the one between there in the Warminster branch junction at Carmel. Hoping I looked this one up. You can see how crappy I mean, it was really basic signaling. Just like, that's not the one I need. Apparently this is signal 305. Clear. I believe that this would be under the Carmel interlockings stuff. I'm going to need a little bit better description on that one for sure. But Carmel, for the longest time, this is not only the Warminster junction, but also the place where your R1 trains would turn. There was I think there was a crossover south the platform. Let's find out. Moving on up. There you go. Now it looks like, yeah, there was an extra crossover at least. So I believe that R1 trains would like pull through and go back. I don't know. I don't know how they did that. In theory, they could just hang out in that pocket. That signal off in the background is the 2 signal. This looks like it's signal. This was a GRS plant. You don't have the LN Rs. Reading was sort of equal opportunity signal provider. I would consider it a US&S road, but they did buy a lot of GRS. The Carmel movable point frog is still, it was retained. It is still there. It is number 11. Looks like it's signaled with the 11 switch. Yep. And that is still there today. Not sure why they got rid of Jenkins and kept this one, but well, whatever. I should probably mention the dwarf signals are here. The 23 and the 24 signals. That's it for that set. One more set to go. This is going to be just a pretty good jaunt up the old main line here. Be good to see, man. Yeah, nothing was more interesting than just the lack of funds spent on this sort of stuff. I did a better job documenting the R6 Norristown before that was zapped. We have our 307 switch signal. I mean. wonder how I did that one back in the day. If I check a little closer. Oh, pretty much what I'm doing now. Can't really improve it that much, except I straightened it and blew it out a tad. There we go. Here we have one of the several temporary block stations, but just like a interurban line, they're all facing point, requiring either a return. It's either for return to home operations or you have to do that reverse move thing. Let's see if I can read which one this is. I can't. Let's see if it's in the timetable. No, they got rid of it. I'm going to have to find an older one. I can find an older one. Got some old bulletin orders. 2009. I gotta go way back. I'm not sure I have some that old. I think I might, but not for the main line, I don't think. Well, it's near North Hills. I don't know where these numbers are coming from for these signals. 309. I mean, this is nothing close to the milepost numbers. I wonder what I called it in the original thing. Just 309 plus turnout. I'm going to call it, it's probably TBS. Ugh. I guess I could try to find the old TBS name somewhere, but don't have it right now. Here we have the Morrisville line flyover. Just keep the same name pretty much. Well, you know, maybe I can find out where this is exactly. 15.22. Oops. All right. Yep. So you know, it's the literal intersection of the PR and the Reading out in the suburban area. So helps you know where you are. So after the resignaling, they did add a crossover in here, so they no longer needed the temporary block stations. But until that point, you know, you had nothing between pretty much. There weren't there. I'm not sure there was a full crossover pretty much anywhere. South Jenkin and Tabor Junction. It's just bizarre It's hard to believe that they operated that way, but, you know, I guess they just relied on things not going wrong. I suspect that the 3 is a root code on these signals, and the number is a mile. So 3 would be 3, you know, root 3, and milepost 13. This would be 315 signal. This one equipped with a lower head for a short signal distance, or some sort of old thing that used to be there, but I'm pretty sure it's just short signal distance. So I'm noticing something else here. On the railroad power line, you got a substation, a transformer with a PCB sticker on it. That big yellow square means that's a PCB transformer. Not sure if it's still operational, but it shows you what it dates till. Yeah, I'll even have a thing here, but I didn't even mark it. I need to definitely mark that. Do I even know what train that is? 140. Yeah, once you see that PCB sticker, you notice it a lot more. Very, very fun. There's the your new signal hut right there. Already got graffiti on it. Go Philly. Go. Nice, perfect. Got you right there. Glad I got this guy. Well framed. Gotta figure out where this is. Let's go to the chart before I lose it. Somewhere in Fort Washington. No, now it's like guess the station. Not sure actually. Well, let's first do a crop. Suck that guy in. Suck this down, move that up. There we go. We got a basic crop. Now we check the pole line. Look, there's your PCB sticker. I've got PCBs. I think I just gonna call this 319. We have a lot of fun signals on the line, definitely. Pretty dull though, but you know, that's the shad part. You just don't even see this sort of ABS 251 anymore. And it's just totally gone. Hey, I fixed it. I love it when I these they're not super advanced photo editing tools, but it's nice when they work out pretty easily. I had the realization the other day that there's no better feeling when you have a product that solves your problem. $321. Another TBS, also facing point. Now, unfortunately, I didn't get the return signals, I don't think. Especially at this time, SEPTA was still pretty dicey. It was still pretty dicey getting photos in places like SEPTA and whatnot. So I tended to just I didn't try to press my luck too much. Damn, I wish I knew what TBS this was. I'm off my chart. I don't have it really anymore. There's just about where Gwen interlocking used to be, and there's a bridge that got washed out, and they had to use the thing. Might as well just call it Gwen. Gwen for Gwen. The oops. Oh, the signal's not up and down. It's not a problem in my editing software. It's because the signal's not aligned properly. It's leaning. Well, this is interesting. So I believe this is actually the location of a tunnel that was removed in the 30s for electrification purposes. Let's lighten this up so I can actually see it here on milepost 21. So that's nice. Was there part of their quote-unquote daylighting project? So that's the feature on the line that's not everyone knows about. Now, I'm not sure why this is signal 323A. It didn't seem to be that close to the other one, and also the signaling distances didn't seem to be that. You know, they didn't have any, approach, 4-aspect signaling nearby, so not sure why this one has the A. Wish I knew what the other one of that was over there. All right, looks like that is it. I am probably going to call it. It has been a busy night for everybody here involved. Gets me done under the hour. And let's just see if anybody has any questions here. Oh, doesn't look like it. Thank people for attending the stream. Yeah, this worked out a little bit better. So anyway, tomorrow we're going to finish this, and then that's going to be what I have. Remember, my SEPTA Midwinter trip is on Thursday, 27th. Market East Station, East End, outside of fare control. We're going to start a little bit flexible. We can just walk to the Market Frankfurt and head on out. Just spend some time with your friends. It's the cost of an Independence Pass. It's $12. And, definitely hope to see you there. For the folks that, who's there on the Villanova guy. So what are you doing? Okay, you're not going to go on the trip, but you're going to go to Villanova to 69th Street to Clifton to 30th Street. Jeez. I mean, okay, you're using all my secret tricks in seemingly one trip there. Clifton to North Philly, 30th Street to North Philly to Fern Rock via Center City. To wait the market. Okay. Have fun. Listen. You need to drop me a line. I think my email is around, or hit me up on the Facebook post or sub chat or wherever. I'll try to check those things during the day if you just want to meet up. Or maybe we'll run into you at Marcus East at 9 if you want to get there early. But yeah, no. I try to never have the same trip twice. I repeat things. It's Philly. There's not an infinite amount, but we are doing new things this year. Specifically Newark, Newark, Delaware is new this year, and the Route 59 is new this year. At some point, we'll have nothing left. It's pretty much down to the R6 to Elm Street from Norristown. Newark. What else do we have yet to do? The full extent of the 66 trackless trolley out of Frankfurt, I think we haven't done. And we haven't gone to Elwyn from Media. Although at this point I'm just sort of waiting for Wawa. Anyway, thanks everybody for showing up. I'm just going to cancel this out. You guys have a great day. Have a Merry Christmas. And I'll see you tomorrow's.